So I wanted to give you guys a kind of an update on the build. I've been spending a lot of time. The clear started peeling on this thing, and I said, you know what the hell? This thing's got a lot of dents in it, and I'll just start trying my hand at some body work. So I've been doing a lot of body work on this thing. And I'll see if I can put some before and after pics. But okay, so I did find some before footage. That's what this is, so I just squeezed it in here. There's a dent in the leading edge there, dent there, dent there. At some point I start pointing at these things because I realize it's hard to see, so I think right about now I'm going to start. There's one, yeah, so there's one. How long does this go on? There's one. Oh, there's a big one right there, and yeah, so one back there towards the windshield. There's a shallow one. It's kind of up right there, actually. There's one on the fender. Got 6 pictures here to show you in this like little slideshow. So here's the tailgate. This I've drilled it, pulled it, and then I eventually wind up welding that little hole up and skim coating it with some Bondo. This is that left front fender that was just hammered. It took a lot of dolly work and hammer work. This hood was oil canning, so I had to do some shrinking and hammer work and shrinking and hammer work. Just putting a thin coat of Bondo so I can block everything out afterwards and get it nice and smooth. It's pretty hammered through here, and the hood was a mess. And I think the hood had some hail damage, because there was dings in here, all throughout here, along the leading edge, all through here. There was a ding on this fender too, that front door. Take this, dude. I've been driving around for a week like this. Freaking Bondo just laying there. I'll knock that off. Whoops. Anyway, yeah, been driving around for a week like that. That door, quarter panel, and I guess this would be the A, B, C, D pillar gate. This is actually the lift gate at the D pillar. So anyway, go over some changes I've made, and some improvements. Talk about some things that aren't working. I'm probably going to get rid of this. It was originally a way for me to not drill holes in the vehicle and be able to run like solar through like a bulkhead here, but what I've figured out is that I can go through this seam where that hinge point is, and I can actually come down here, and let's see, there's a grommet here, but I don't know if that's gonna be big enough. But what I can do is, if I popped a hole on the side of this light, that's actually, that doesn't go into the actual sealed, it's a separate cavity then, and it's exposed, so I could actually run a wire through here and then come in into the vehicle. I've already taken it apart and looked at it. So again, this surface here is not the same surface as the inner wall of like the reflector area. So I believe I could try that. Anyway, other things that I've gotten done. I came up on a inverter. It's not a pure sine wave. It's a 2,000 watt inverter. I came up on an Optima yellow top. I think this thing's about 235 to 275, and I got it for the core charge because I was suspect that it was still good, and I grabbed it, paid the guy for his core that he's got into, which I think is $18 out here, core on that. And so I've got, let's see, so this is a ground, goes over there to the wall, and then the other side right here comes down and goes to this lug here. The middle red one coming off the positive goes to the engine compartment where there's a solenoid to isolate the starter battery, and then that heavy gauge white one goes up and feeds this fuse block. Yeah, my wiring's a mess, but it means something to me. And then of course I've got a ground bus over here, and that big red cable right there goes down, so I got a ground bus there doing all my ground wiring. So when I would empty the water, my 6.5 gallon or 6 gallon water container, I would pull that fuse so the pump wouldn't run dry, because it basically, if there's no water in the system, the pump will start running and running. So that's a hokey way to do that. So I finally put in a switch. You can hear it go there. Put in a switch for the water pump, so I can shut that off when it's empty. I decided to move after camping once, and this is how we learn. I decided to move the paper towels back here, because this is where I'm cooking. Back here, you know, my table comes off of here, and you know, maybe I'll set that table up. Well, before I set it up, let's go over the parts. So this is kind of like the leg of the table, and this part here comes off the receiver hitch. So let me put that together for you guys. So that's the kitchen table setup. I notice I got Bondo on here too. I'll have to sand that off. So yeah, that's the kitchen table setup. Let's move on to the inside. Well, yeah, we'll go this way for now. So I had an issue where that fridge right there, it was wedged up against the door and the mattress, and I was concerned about that it wouldn't breathe well, you know, ventilate well there, and it seemed to put, you know, I didn't want to put stress on the case. I mean, it was wedged in there pretty good. The door gets smaller as it gets lower as well, so I was going to build a platform underneath it to lift it, and anyway, so as you can probably tell from this angle, what I did was I wound up getting a couple of containers that were like perfect. So let's go around there, and you know, with that I get storage as well. So yeah, so I got some storage down there, and this is, you know, this is up off the ground, and actually when I'm in there, it creates a surface where I can, you know, set my phone or magazines or a drink or, you know, a book, set my phone down to watch TV, you know, prop it up on something. Whoops, there we go. Turn the fridge on, 69 degrees in there. I think that's it for, like I said, I located the paper towel. Used to have it above the sink there, kind of in between the fan and the sink. It was up there, but now I have it back there. So if I need paper towel, I got it close to the edge, so even if I'm closed in here stealth camping, I can still get paper towel. But I noticed I mostly used it when I was cooking, so moved it down there. Doesn't mean I can't put a second one back here and run 2 rolls paper towel. I mean, if I decide that I miss it, I can just get another one. So yeah. You know, I also wanted to show you guys, I wanted to show you this. Let's see if I can get a good view. Get the phone down low. Can't see if I'm on target or not, but this is, again, this is that stuff. It's like $3.50. It goes on your rain gutter. I trimmed it to fit the sunroof opening, and then I hot glued window screen to the edges, and then pulled some like black felt around. Let's show you what it looks like from the outside. That's what it looks like from the outside, and basically the tension from the sunroof on it basically holds it in. So the reason I did that is because I had made a small vent for this, like this window or the other side, and if I'm stealth camping, which I haven't done yet, it kind of gives it away, you know, when you've got a window cracked open and you've got screen on it. You know, I think that's kind of a dead giveaway. But this, now I'm 6'7", so I can kind of see that, but I think like a normal person sees the car about like, you know, this, so they're not going to see that there's a vent there. And then I can also get one of those like made out of Lexan or some sort of polycarbonate, you know, it's like a deflector that, so that you can crack your sunroof in the rain, or it's made to reduce buffeting. I don't know, but if for instance it only goes to here, you know, then I can cut like an inch off this thing and bring it in even further, so I can actually crack that open in the rain and still get ventilation. So anyway, I meant to show you guys that too. Looks like that from inside the vehicle. And then of course, blackout curtains across here, and but you know, blackout curtains aren't airtight, so it's still ventilation. So anyway, I think that wraps it up for recent mods or anything. I got the seat back right now, so what I do is I just kind of lift up the front of the that front corner of the mattress and drive that way. I don't know if I've ever showed you the guys sitting or not, but that's what it looks like when I'm in driving mode. You know, I drop that table down that's over in the corner, lift that part of the floor up, ease the seat back, and yeah. I don't know that I can pull into a stealth spot very stealthy though, you know, because you know, I'd pull up, I'd have to get out, push the seat forward, crawl in the back, and you know, then put the curtains and stuff up. But I suppose it could be done. If I was going to stealth camp, I'd probably put as much of the curtains up as I could. That's what I would do. Yeah, I'd put up curtains first, and you know, before I got to that spot, and then roll in with all the blackout up, and kind of slip into the back somehow without drawing any attention to myself. But I think we all kind of, not we all, but people that self-camp, I think I've heard them mention that that's one of the keys, is just kind of get in there without drawing attention to yourself. So anyway, should wrap it up.